As we passed beneath the Westway, I was not thinking straight. Parallel to the Great Western Railway was where I met my fate. The journey, it was a long one, 'twas only time to lose. Just then I spied a solitary figure staring at his shoes. Wearing a stovepipe hat, blowing smoke like the fires of hell. No need to ask his name, it was Isambard Kingdom Brunel. My companion and I introduced ourselves. He turned and tipped his hat. I asked if I could be of any assistance. He said it was too late for that. Muddy tracks led back to Kensal Green Cemetery, the graveyard next to the line. I noticed the dates on the tombstone, 1806 to 1859. Why had he died so young? Only he could tell. Was it the great Leviathan killed Isambard Kingdom Brunel? His eyes burned through to the back of my head, as though he could read my mind. I was beginning to wonder which one of us was the ghost when I left this century behind. The Westway vanished into thin air, so did the high-rise flats. Suddenly I was smoking a big cigar and wearing a stovepipe hat. To cut a tall story short, we slipped back in time for a spell. And now I know what makes a man tick, like Isambard Kingdom Brunel. I found myself in the Napier Yard on the Isle of Dogs. The crowd had come to see Leviathan leave the Millwall docks. The press lined up with their pens dipped in blood, the cynics here to disprove. November the deadline for the creditors, but the great ship still wouldn't move. The papers talked of the shame, a scandal was always a good sell, so they slandered the engineer's name. Poor Isambard Kingdom Brunel. I watched them struggle with that hulk. One man had already died. As the crowds jeered and laughed at Brunel, I turned my head and cried. When building the Great Eastern Steamship, all seemed doomed to fail. His coffin already built at Millwall, John Scott Russell hammered in the nails. Months passed with the ship high and dry. He worked on though he was not well, but such was the determination of Isambard Kingdom Brunel. The ship finally floated and awaited her fittings, supplied by Russell and Co. They made mistakes and changed the plans without letting Isambard know. So many problems had beset this venture, leaving the poor man a wreck. Isambard suffered a massive stroke, fell paralysed to the deck. He lay like a ship on the rocks, not rising with the swell. They'd broken the man, but not the spirit of Isambard Kingdom Brunel. I was on the Great Eastern on a maiden trip, that fateful September morning. What came to pass was an incredible blow. The passengers had no warning. Pressure had built up in the feed water heat, It was only a matter of time as the explosion blew away the forward funnel. 6 men in the engine room died. With the great engineer on his deathbed, the news was hard to tell. The shock was too much and it took the last breath from Isambard Kingdom Brunel. In a flash we were back in the present, the ghost weeping into his chest. I asked if I proved the success of his creation, would he then lay to rest? The spectre nodded its head, and a book to it I did hand, showing how his ship laid the first telegraph from Britain to Newfoundland. His face did seem to lighten as this venture did unfurl. The Great Eastern, under his old friend Gooch, laid cables all around the world. Go build your castles in heaven, in this half-world you should not dwell. Now rest in peace your weariest soul, Isambard Kingdom Brunel.